up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here. And yesterday I did Cooler's Revenge movie review. And today I am going to be doing the sequel. Well, yeah. The sequel to Cooler's Revenge, which is The Return of Cooler. Now, I know what you all are going to say. Hardcore Christopher, I thought you said in Cooler's Revenge, he died. You would be right. Cooler died. So, how could Cooler, who died in Cooler's Revenge, return? Well, that's where the story becomes very, very confusing. But let me start at the beginning. Cooler's Revenge came out in 1992 in Japan. But in the US, we got Cooler's Revenge. Well, no, The Return of Cooler on August 13th, 2002. Well, just like Bio Broly, this was nothing more than a cash grab. But the Return of Cooler starts off on a peaceful New Namek, and Cooler and the Return of Cooler takes place after the Android Saga, but before the Boo Saga. Because Krillin mentions on the spaceship, that Piccolo is a Super Namek. He goes, I'm a Super Namek now, and Piccolo hears it and goes, funny. And on top of that, Vegeta's in this movie, and Vegeta can go Super Saiyan. So, New Namek gets I don't even know how to put it. New Namek is trying to get absorbed, absorbed by this thing called the Big Getty Star. More on that in a little while. And the peaceful Namekians get enslaved by robots. So, what does that mean? Well, it means that Dende, who's the guardian of Earth, calls on Goku to help his people. And that's where we basically pick up. So, Goku, Krillin, Gohan, Yajirobe, Master Roshi, Oolong, and Piccolo go to New Namek. And Gohan saves a Namekian from getting blown up. Because obviously the robots don't like when Namekians disobey them. But they can't talk. They can't give orders. So Goku gives a warning. And more robots fly down. Krillin and Gohan join into the fray. And Piccolo. So, but before a giant fight with these robots can even occur, you hear this. I'm sorry my robot guards cannot answer you, but then again, what would you want them to say? And then Goku says, I know you. You're cooler. And so a big fight ensues, and the robots cannot be penetrated until Piccolo goes, focus all your energy into one strike. That should be enough to pierce their armor. So Piccolo does, Gohan does, and Krillin does, and Krillin goes, yay, I did it, and then gets bopped on the head by a robot. Piccolo gets like bullets and everything thrown at him for a long time. Gohan and Krillin get taken to the Big Getty Star along with Yajirobe, Roshi, and Oolong. But the meat of this movie is Cooler and Goku. Goku and Cooler have fight. Kaioken cannot do anything against Cooler, and so Goku had no choice but to go Super Saiyan. And Cooler does Supernova. Goku instant transmissions, and Cooler goes, that was a very impressive technique. I didn't think there was time to dodge. And Goku goes, you like that, huh? It's called instant transmission. And Cooler goes, I know. It's one of my favorite techniques. And Goku goes, your favorites? And then immediately gets kicked. Instant transmission kicked. So Goku and Cooler have fight once more, and Goku goes right through Cooler and rips off one of his arms. You think it's over when stringy stuff comes out of Cooler's gaping hole that had his arm and created a new arm. How is all this possible, you could say? Well, hold your horses. I'm getting right to it. And then all of a sudden, Vegeta appears, turns Super Saiyan, and battles Cooler. Vegeta has little to no luck. And Vegeta and Goku do a combined attack. Cooler goes all Cooler goes all over the place, but his body is trying to repair him. Oh, wait a minute. What about Piccolo? Well, Piccolo blew everything to smithereens and went flying to the Big Giddy Star. And then, after Goku and Vegeta defeat Cooler, they see 1,000 Coolers. And Vegeta and Goku scream a lot, and they end up in the Big Giddy Star. Well, okay, now that we're here, what is the Big Giddy Star? Well, that's where it gets confused. That's where the story goes from a Dragon Ball Z story to a story about a computer chip. Allow me to explain. After Cooler's Revenge, there was a computer chip that was floating in space with a whole bunch of other debris. And the computer chip was gathered knowledge, started to expand its knowledge. How is that possible? I have no freaking clue. And Cooler's brains somehow got absorbed into what is now known as the Big Giddy Star. Cooler is in control of the Big Giddy Star because his brains got absorbed into the Big Giddy Star. Is any of this making sense to anybody? And Cooler makes himself a new body, which is what you call a Metacooler. And I just have one question. Why do they have to make his story so complicated? I mean, we already know that Frieza's species can survive in space. So, with that being said, Goku and Vegeta get some power drained from them. Cooler shuts off the circuit, but power still keeps emanating through the circuit for some reason. This is what you call a big plot hole. And the Big Giddy Star starts to explode. And, oh, did I forget to mention that there was a robot that said, if you will all be so kind, we will begin chopping you up now. And the robot goes on to explain that they just want to harvest everybody's energy for the Big Giddy Star. And the only method to do so is to chop them up. And Yajirobe says, "You ain't chopping nothing." Ugh. And punches the robot. The robot just goes, "You're a feisty one. We'll start with you." And what? And Piccolo shows up because a Metacooler body was going to kill him, but it went boom. I know I'm spoiling the movie, but who really cares at this point? And Cooler dies again. My biggest question is, how on earth did Vegeta arrive on planet Namek? Now, we do see him get into we do see a space pod lift off and go into space, and Vegeta crushes what is left of the computer chip. However, the movie didn't really explain when Vegeta got onto Namek. Well, New Namek. And yeah. So that was the return of Cooler. I give this 3 stars. Why do I give it 3 stars? Well, the entire story of how Cooler returned was just took me out of it. So with that being said, I am Hardcore Christopher. I hope you all enjoyed this review. And I'm Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.